Just like that, another month is almost finished, which means it's time for me to freak out about how quickly this year is flying by while setting up my monthly bullet journal spreads. My name is Kayla from Planning with Kay, and welcome to my monthly Plan With Me video where I'm going to be setting up my October bullet journal spreads. As you can see, I usually do Halloween themes for October, but I'm in full denial about summer being over, so instead I'm going to be doing an otter theme for my October bullet journal setup. So I'm going to be using these otter stickers that I designed a couple months ago. These are now available in my sticker shop, PlanningWithKay.com, and I am so excited to use these. Ever since I created these stickers, I've just been dying to use this theme. So that's a big reason why I decided to opt out of a Halloween theme in place of these adorable otters. I also have a bunch of matching printables for this collection. These are all available on my Patreon, where for joining for just $1 a month, you can gain access to hundreds and hundreds of printables matching all of my different sticker themes. I also am going to be setting up one Halloween related spread, so I've got some Halloween stickers on deck. And with all of that out of the way, let's start creating my October cover spread. Now, before I even had this theme picked out, I knew that I wanted to bring back watercolors to this bullet journal setup. And as you can see, my palette was looking a little bit crusty and dusty after having it for like 5 years. So I decided to buy a fresh new watercolor palette. It is so satisfying seeing the new palette next to the old one. I'm very excited to use these fresh new paints. This is from the brand Otter-Themed. They're my favorite watercolors, and I'll have the paints as well as these paint brushes linked in the description down below for you. So for this decorative cover spread, I'm going to use my watercolor to create a big watery background. I'm doing sort of like a wave shape across the spread, just in like the lower half of the spread. And I'm using a variety of larger and smaller paint brushes, along with a variety of different blue paint colors to create this really nice, streaky, texture-filled water background. If you haven't ever used watercolors in your bullet journal, I highly suggest it. Not only is it super relaxing and very therapeutic, just taking a little bit more time to paint in your journal, but it also creates some very beautiful and striking looking spreads. This watery background, I think, is a particularly beginner friendly watercolor practice, since you don't have to worry about things being streaky. The more texture, the better. And as long as you're just using a bunch of different shades of blue, I promise it's gonna turn out looking great. So now that I have that watery background finished, I'm continuing with my watercolors to create my October header. So I'm using some purples, some pinks, and some green colors to match the lily pads and lotus flowers that I'll stick in later on, and just kind of blending those colors together to create these big letters for my October header. I also decided to have these letters kind of floating on the water, which was a very simple touch, but I feel like it really brought this whole scene together. I love lettering with watercolors. Again, it just kind of adds to the relaxing, kind of therapeutic nature of painting. And I just love the way that watercolor really makes me slow down. Again, I haven't used watercolor this whole year in my journal. I think a big part of that is that I moved and my watercolors kind of got packed away and just kind of forgot about them. But I have a good feeling that this is going to inspire me to use my watercolors more often again, because I really do love every single time I use them. So now that my lettering is done, I'm putting in some lily pad, lotus flower, and otter stickers right on top of that blue backdrop. And I just love how this came together. I now am going to use one of these 2024 stickers and just stick that right in the center of the wave to finish up this October header. And once that's done, I felt like the top and bottom were a little bit too glaringly white. So I just dragged some of this very light blue color just to create a little bit of like a sky background. And with that finishing detail, that is it for my October cover spread. Just a nice way to introduce the new month. I absolutely love the colors of these watercolors I ended up using. I love how it matches the sticker collection so perfectly, and I am all jazzed up and ready to start setting up my functional monthly bullet journal spreads. So at its core, bullet journaling is just a way of staying organized. It's just a custom planner. And of course, that always has to start off with my monthly calendar. So I'm just creating a big full spread calendar. Each day here takes up a box that is 6 spaces wide by 6 spaces tall. And this calendar is just where I'm going to write in and keep track of all of my upcoming events and appointments. I'm now using these date dot stickers from the $5 Otter monthly kit, along with that big vertical decorative sticker on the left. And I'm now finishing the calendar off with the weekly headers on top, just using my favorite fine liner pen. I'm now creating my October header on top of this calendar, and I'm bringing the watercolors back and doing a similar lettering style to that cover spread, just with those same green, pink, and purple colors. I'm also making sure when I do this lettering to not blend the colors together too much. This is something that you'll learn if you decide to try watercolors yourself, but certain colors when mixed together will just turn into a muddy mess. And especially with these colors here, like if I were to blend the purple and pink and green together all the way, it would just turn into a gross looking brown. So I'm really being careful when I put these colors next to each other to not blend them together too much. I just let them kind of flow together naturally, but I'm making sure not to overwork it. And that is the key to using watercolor like this with colors that otherwise would blend together and become muddy. So if you find you're having that issue, I recommend just trying to simplify your colors a little bit and use colors that, if they do end up blending together, will turn into a color that still looks nice. So for example, for this header here, if you took out the green and just did purple and pink, you wouldn't have to worry about that. So I'm finishing this calendar spread off with a little bit of extra decoration, like these adorable little otter faces and a little quote at the bottom that says, "The future is going to be utterly wonderful." And that quote sticker is actually one of the only stickers in this collection that isn't available in my shop, because it's part of the Patreon exclusive sticker sheet that shipped out to my sticker subscription patrons a couple months ago. So if you're ever wanting to receive the exclusive stickers that aren't available anywhere else, then check out my Patreon at the upper tiers. That's where you can join my sticker subscription and get my new stickers sent to you every single month. So with my calendar spread finished, I'm now setting up my second functional bullet journal spread for October, which is going to be my daily review. Now, my daily review is just a spot for me to document what happens each day. So I've got a header at the top of the spread, and then I'll use one of my number strips along the left. So it gives me one line for every single day to write down a little daily summary. The way that my memory works, if I don't do a spread like this, I feel like the days and weeks and months just fully blend together. So I really love that this daily review spread just kind of forces me to sit down and reflect on what's actually happening each day and to document it. I also love to look back on my daily review spreads and my past bullet journals. It's such a raw and honest way of documenting memories, and I love that I can go back and really see what past me was up to. And just like that, my daily review spread is complete. So let's move right along to my monthly live stream schedule. For this, I'm just using this single page printable calendar from my $1 Patreon tier. I rounded the corners with my new corner rounder tool, which I am obsessed with. I just love the rounded corners. I feel like it's so fancy. And I am going to be using this to just separately schedule out my live streams for the month. I live stream 7 times a month over on Patreon, as well as most Sundays here publicly on my YouTube channel. So it's very useful for me to just have a separate calendar for these live streams to make sure that I'm not forgetting any throughout the month. Now on the page right next to that, I'm going to create a brain dump page for October. This is simply like a catch-all space for any other things I need to write down throughout the month, like any fleeting notes or lists or calculations. anything that doesn't really have a spot somewhere else in my journal. So I just created a header at the top of the spread, and now I'm putting in another little decorative quote at the bottom because otter is like way too good of a pun. There's so many good punny quotes that you can do with an otter theme. So this one says, "It's all just otter nonsense." Again, using a couple stickers from the Patreon exclusive sheet for this collection. And with that, that is it for this live stream schedule and brain dump spread. This is going to be my last otter-themed spread, but I am not finished because I do want to create something for Halloween. Even though I am in denial about the fact that it's already October, that doesn't change that I am 100% a Halloween girl. Like, I love Halloween. I love scary movies. I love dressing up. I love candy. I love everything that comes with Halloween. So even though I rejected Halloween for the beginning of this setup with the otter theme, I'm now going to create a full Halloween spread to really celebrate what might be the best holiday of the year. So on the left here, I'm starting off by creating a Halloween bingo page. This is essentially going to be like a Halloween bucket list. So I have a 5x5 bingo card on the bottom of this page, and I just used my self-care bingo sticker sheet to make that really easy. And I'm going to be filling that in with 25 different Halloween related activities. So I've got things like going to Spirit Halloween, buying candy, buying a cat costume for our cat Luna, watching scary movies, going to a pumpkin patch, going on a hayride, going to a haunted house. I just thought of all of the fun, iconic Halloween activities. So as we do these things throughout the month, I can check them off of this bingo or Halloween bingo card. And hopefully by the end of October, I have checked off almost everything on this list. So now that I have all my Halloween activities written into my bingo card, I'm just going to finish this page off with a little extra ghosty decoration. And I also noticed that this matched the lotus flowers from the Otter collection. So I put some of those in here as well to kind of blend the two themes together. Now on the right page, I'm going to have a little photo memory wall for Halloween. So that way I can paste in photos of mine and Jake's and Luna's Halloween costumes. I don't have our costumes picked out quite yet, but let me know down in the comments. Do you already know what you're dressing up for this Halloween? Let me know. I'm really interested to know because I have no idea what we're going to be. But whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be cute, and I'll put some photos of that right here. And with that, that is it for my October bullet journal setup. You might have noticed that I didn't set up any weekly spreads, and that's because I plan on setting up my weeklies week by week throughout this month instead of setting them up ahead of time. I will be live streaming tomorrow right here on my YouTube channel at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And during that live stream, I'll set up my first October weekly spread. So if you're interested in doing some planning with me tomorrow live, then you can join in my live stream right here on my YouTube channel. If you liked any of these stickers I used today, they are all available in my sticker shop, PlanningWithKay.com. And don't forget that you can join my Patreon for exclusive printables, sticker deliveries, live streams, and so much more. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for new videos every single week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.